Hey now, mod for the Hellcat. Get this going. What's going on YouTube? Scotty here. Well, finally going to do some performance mods on this badass Hellcat. I've been really just doing visual mods and some performance stuff, but nothing engine related. So I am gonna start doing some tuning, and the first thing you got to do with that is you got to get a tuner, and you got to unlock the PCM. So I'm going to go over that process, what you have to do to unlock the PCM on a 2016 Hellcat. It's pretty much the same, even up to the current year, but it is a different PCM for 2018 and later, I believe. So you have to just make sure when you're going through this purchase process that you specify the correct model year. So when you decide to swap the PCM, you have to make a couple decisions right up front when you're purchasing it. You have to decide if you're going to swap your existing PCM or if you're going to get a second PCM and keep your factory one. Now, I'm already well past factory warranty on this, so I'm going to do the swap because it's about half the price. To get an unlocked PCM with the swap, it's about, I got it at the end of the year with a 20% discount, which is pretty nice, but I got it for $499. Generally, it's just under $600. If you want it with the second PCM, then it's over $1,000. You really got to decide what you want to do there, but you have to make that decision when you place the order. When you do the PCM swap, they actually send you the tuner, and you have to take the PCM out, your factory PCM, get some numbers off of it, serial number and stuff like that. Then you have to send all that information back. They send you a new PCM based on those numbers that were on your factory one. You swap it out, you make sure everything's good for a few days, and then you send the original factory one back to them. And there's no retrieving it at that point. So they do give you some time to test out the replacement PCM, just to make sure that it's okay. But once you send that other one back, the factory one, it's going for good. So right now I'm going to take the number off I got the new tuner. I'm going to take the number off the factory PCM. I'll show you how to take that out. And then later on, when I get the new PCM, I'll do that swap, and I'll show you how to swap that out. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Okay, when you open the box, you obviously have the i3 device. This is an i3. It's the smaller of the tuning options. So they give you that. They give you an OBD cable, OBD port cable. They give you a charging cable, all your instructions. They got a pretty good pamphlet here with the instructions on what to do. They give you a little badge, little Diablo badge. So they have a lot of videos online to show you exactly what this process is. Definitely watch all those videos before you decide to do this. Okay, before you do any PCM work, any type of swap, you have to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. That cuts off all electrical power to the engine components. So you got to make sure that that's disconnected. So the PCM is actually located down here. So to get at it, you're going to need a pry tool to pop several of the tabs there. You're going to take off the air cleaner box and you're going to fold that up. That'll get you access to the PCM bolts, which you take off with a 13mm socket. Okay, so at this point, I got the bolt undone. I lifted out the PCM a little bit. Now, I don't need to totally disconnect the PCM at this point, because all I'm doing is getting some of these numbers here, because they have to be specified when you send the information back to Diablo. So I'm going to take all that stuff down, and then I'm going to put the PCM back in. Alright, so one of the first things I'm going to do before I do any PCM swap is I'm going to capture some stats with the factory PCM. You can do the data logging feature with the stock PCM because you're not trying to modify anything on the PCM. So I'm going to just capture all stock settings. I'm going to let the data logger run for a little while, do a little driving, some polls, stuff like that, exercise the engine, and just capture some statistics on all the values so I have a baseline before I get the new PCM and before I do any modding. Have the car in the ignition in the run position. I plugged it into the OBD port, and I'm going to go into data logging. Okay, then I'm going to go into record. All right, and it shows all the different stats there. So I'm going to let that run, and I'm just going to go for a little drive here. Okay, everybody. So I got the replacement PCM in. This came about 5 to 7 days after I filled out all the information online. So this is what's in the box. They give you a return address label, so you can slap that on. They give you the standard warning about how you're going to potentially void your warranty. They give you the cross-ship program details, telling you when you have to get this back. You have 14 days to send it back, and it's got to be in good condition. Can't send back something that's all dinged up or whatnot. So just return it in the same box that it came in. So the next thing they give you is the instruction sheet for installation. They give you some of the details on how to connect everything, what the process is for, when you first connect it the first time and whatnot. So take a look at these really closely. Now, the actual replacement PCM is not a brand new PCM. It's a reflash PCM that they took probably from somebody else that returned it. And just like the one I'm sending back is going to get reflashed and sent to somebody else. So just take a good look at it. Make sure there's no dings or bent pins on the connectors or anything like that, and you should be all set. So here I am back at the engine. Now I'm going to take out the factory PCM. I disconnected the battery again first, the negative terminal in the battery. I took out all the pins again so I could bend up the cover there, and unbolted the bolt to the frame, and now there's the connectors you have to pop off in the back. There's actually like a lift, the gray lift handle that releases them from the PCM. They are kind of hard to get to. You got to really kind of wiggle your hand around back there and to be able to unhook those. Alright, so I got the factory one out. There's the there's the connectors you can see with the gray tabs on top that you have to lift up. Now this bracket, this black bracket, I need to take off the factory PCM and mount it on the replacement PCM. They don't send you that, so you have to take that out. That's just a bolt that you take out. So here it is. I got it on the replacement PCM now. I've got the bracket mounted. I'm going to make a note of these numbers just before I put it back in case for some reason I need those. Take a picture of them or jot them down or something, so that you don't have to go through this process again to get that number at some point in the future if you need it. So there it is. Now, before I lock everything up, I'm going to go through the initial process for connecting the Diablo and making sure that the car starts, that there's no major error codes or anything like that. You want to do that before you lock everything up, so you just don't have to do it again.